finally time to start the toe on our sock. Doing the toe is like the most rewarding part of doing a sock because it means you're almost done and you can wear them. All right, so here are my socks, very cute. Now I'm just going to turn these over really quickly, try not to get tangled so you can kind of see what we've got going on here. So you can see with these heels here, remember our cable was twisted all the way through here and it was kind of crazy, but as you do the decreases, then you end up, see the decreases here, you get back to having one needle across the backs and one needle across the fronts. So even though it is a little bit fiddly when you go through the heel decreases, it works out quite nicely if you can fumble through that. Okay, so the pattern here says that you want to stop about 2 inches before the total length of the foot. So if you are making these for someone, it's best to ask them to measure their foot from heel to toe so that you know exactly what the length is. And then you will want to make them about a 1/2 inch shorter because they will stretch, okay? Also, as far as your gauge around, if you measure the ball of your foot, the arch of your foot, if you measure the arch of your foot, and then you want to make that a 1/2 inch to 1 inch smaller because knitting really stretches across this way. So if you're looking at this, knitting really stretches this way. So this is what we call negative ease. Socks are meant to be too small for you so that when you put them on, they fit nice and tight. So just keep in mind they should be 1 inch smaller in diameter, and they should be about a 1/2 inch shorter in the toe so that it'll fit perfectly when you shove your foot in there. All right, now let's take a look here. The pattern says to stop knitting on the foot when you're 2 inches away from the total length of the foot, but also to end on a contrast color row. But if you see here, I did my cuff in the gray, and I also want to do my toe in the gray, even though my heel was done in the white. So over here, I have ended on a main color row. So again, it doesn't really matter what color you end on. Just kind of think about that when you're getting toward the end, what color you want to end on. Also, if you get exactly to the length that you need, but you have to do a stripe in the next color, feel free to start the decreases during this last stripe. It's totally fine. That way you get a perfect fit and you still get the correct stripe. Okay, so the pattern says what we're going to do now is we're going to knit across this whole round until we're 3 stitches from the end, and then we're going to do a decrease. So I have my yarn here and I want to switch to this color. So I want to make sure to put the white over the gray and get this untangled here. Okay, so now I'm going to pull this one out and I'm going to knit all the way across until I'm 3 stitches from the end. All right, so I'm 3 stitches from the end right here. And now I'm going to knit 2 together. So I'm just going to go under both of these stitches as if to knit them, and we're going to pretend like they're one, and I'm going to knit 2 together, just like this, okay? Now, you can see that this knit 2 together leans this way a little bit, which is cool because the toe is going to go this way. So this stitch will lean along with the decreases on this side. When we turn it over and we get to this side, we're going to do a slip-slip knit, and it's going to lean this way. So that way, whoop, you get some really cool looking stitches. All right, so now I'm going to knit this last one, and I'm going to set these balls of yarn aside. I'm going to tuck this guy in here, and I'm going to repitan what I just did across my second sock as well. All right, so I'm getting to the end of my second sock, and now I'm going to knit 2 together again on this side. So I'm going to get under there, knit these 2 together, knit this one. Okay, so now it's time to turn it over. So I'm going to grab these 2 balls. I'm going to scoot these 2 balls to this side, put these over the top so that when I flip it, my yarn is attached properly. Yeah, it looks good. Okay. Now, let me shove this guy in here. Get in there, get in there, get in there, get in there. All right, so now we are on the right side over here, okay? So I am going to knit 1, and then I'm going to slip, slip, knit. So I'm going to slip this one as if to knit, slip this one as if to knit. I'm going to get in here in the front loops of these 2 stitches with my left needle, yarn over, and I'm going to knit those 2 together. Now see, that one looks like it's leaning that way just a little bit instead of that way. So the slip, slip, knit and the knit 2 together match really nicely. It's super cool. Okay, so now I am going to get all the way over to this side, and I'm going to perform a decrease on this side, but of course it's going to be a knit 2 together because it needs to lean the opposite direction. Okay, so here's my knit 2 together, knit 1, oops, and there's the other color, we'll tighten that one. All right, so I can set this one aside, and now I'm going to repeat the same thing with this one. Okay, whoops, I went 1 stitch too far. Now this is a knit 2 together, knit 2 together. I'm going to knit 1. Fantastic. Okay, now we're going to turn the whole thing over. I'm going to take these 2 balls and put them over here, and move these over here, remember. Okay, so when we first started this round, on the pattern says that you knit all the way across here. So your end of round is in kind of a strange place. Let me get this cable out of here. Pull this. Okay, so we did not do a decrease here, but we're going to do one now. So this is going to be a knit 1. Now, if you want to get technical, this is the first round of your new color. So I'm going to slip it, remember that, so that you avoid the jog. So we're going to do that. And then I'm going to slip, slip, and then knit these guys. Just like this. And I'm going to tighten it up a little bit here so there's not such a big gap. Okay, now I'm going to continue knitting. Now technically, once you perform this last slip, slip, knit on the other side, you are going to now knit 1 whole round. So the pattern here says round 2, you're going to knit all stitches. So really you're only decreasing every other round, okay? Now, this being said, I followed the pattern directly. If you would like, on the toe on round 1, you can immediately do a knit 1 and a slip, slip, knit, knit to the end, knit 2 together, turn it over, do your decrease on this side, do your decrease on this side. Then when you turn it around, you can knit the entire round without being worried that you have missed a decrease, okay? So I'm following the pattern, so it actually has you knit through the first corner without doing a decrease, that first edge. So just pay attention and go nice and slow. So now that I've done my decreases on all 4 sides of each sock, now I can knit around whole, and then once I get back to the beginning, I'm going to go ahead and do my decreases again. So we are going to keep doing this until only 20 stitches remain. That means 10 on the heel stitches and then 10 on the instep stitches, okay? So you'll have 10 here, 10 here, 10 here, 10 here. Does that make sense? So Once I go ahead and get through there, we will talk about grafting the toe. We're going to graft the toe with something called the Kitchener stitch. So in the meantime, before you watch that video, you're going to need a darning needle. So locate it and I'll meet you right back here.